tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
You got a pretty mouth.
Yes. Welcome to the Blacklist AFTERBUZZ After Show, episode 8, season 3 of the Blacklist. I'm Joe Braswell. I'm not joined by the lovely Julia Carely, who is still out on assignment, double secret assignment in New York City, freezing her pretty little red hair off. But I'm stuck here with the lovely Joe SanFelippo.
It's nice to be here with you guys.
Who made it 2 in a row.
2 in a row, back to back.
Back to back, like the 88 Lakers.
You know, I was going to say, I think this is most analogous to last year's Lakers. If there were 2 in a row,
Yes.
You know that they're going to drop the next 6. There's no,
Yeah, exactly. This year's Lakers have not put together a 2 in a row.
I don't think
streak
they
yet.
have. That's why I didn't even talk about this season.
That's great. But yeah, so you're also hearing dueling banjos, which is what we chose because of our West Virginia hillbilly biker crew.
The Kings of the Highway.
The Kings of the Highway, who are more like the Jesters of the Highway. We'll get to that in a second. In the season, the fall finale of the Blacklist, so we're not seeing any more of the Blacklist until after the Super Bowl, right?
January 7, right?
Yeah, well, actually, no, so not after the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl is in February.
That's
right?
my understanding. But January 7 is when this comes back.
They're coming back. Okay, so they're not doing the big Super Bowl whoop-de-bam this year, huh?
No, they got the whoop-de-bam last year, though, didn't they?
I wonder who's going to get the whoop-de-bam. Is it going to be Blind Spot?
Oh, we should know these things before we talk about the whoop-de-bam.
I gotta say, we're gonna get into this, and I'm gonna get into the show, but I must say, I must say that I was very hard on NBC's. I was very hard. Thank you. I was very hard on NBC's Blind Spot. We made a lot of fun of it. We said it's gonna be the worst show ever, and I'll be goddamn, it's a hit, and it's pretty good. So I feel bad about that.
Well, I as your priest, I hear your confession, and I absolve you of your sins.
Please do.
Say 6 Hail Marys and an Our Father, and don't do it again.
Okay. Welcome to the Blacklist After Show. We're going to get into this episode, episode 8, The Kings of the Highway. Great episode, man.
I completely agree. The writing, we were talking about this a minute ago, the writing staff has really stepped it up. I think it's good stuff.
The writing is really good in season 3. I think they've got away from the broad. I mean, like, in a way, the Blacklist has always been a show with big, giant ideas, like big, giant, like, set pieces and ideas that manifest themselves in these big, giant action sequences and these big sort of conspiracy ideas, which pretty much boil down to Red Reddington in a monologue every week. Mm-hmm. And it worked. It was a hit show, and we all loved it. But I think that shtick is kind of worn thin, and it started to really show its ass a little bit in season 2, if you don't mind me saying so. And they kind of cleaned it up. They really just focused on these tight stories. They're focusing on the characters and these tight stories, and not the elaborateness of the Blacklister and the procedural element. This whole Liz and Red on the Run storyline has provided us for a lot of opportunity to really get to know these characters in ways that I think we've been waiting to do. And also, the way they do these sort of procedurals or week-to-week episodes where they deal with the Blacklisters has also been extremely interesting and extremely well done. And you still got your action set pieces. So I think they're doing a great job.
I agree, and I think they figured out a thing to do with Lizzie, who, I mean, I never bought as like double super duper FBI amazing. I never bought it. And I think what they've done with her this season, it's a lot easier to digest. It makes a lot more sense. I think it gives her a lot more to do. That gives her a lot more range, a lot more fun. She had some fun this week with our boy Jasper. They had a good time. I think it's come along. I'm a huge fan right now. I'm goofy about it.
Yeah, get goofy. So let's talk about this episode. First of all, I got to officially. I'm just going in right now. And I love Look, I love the Blacklist. No matter what no matter what we say, no matter how much sort of shit we talk about things that we call out, it's all in good fun. We love the show. We're doing the show. We talk very fondly. We speak very fondly of the show. We just call out things as we see them. So I'm calling this out. I'm calling 100% bullshit on the Kings of the Highway being 108 on the Blacklist. I think that is the most ridiculous. Like now, can we officially just say the Blacklist is now bullshit?
No, I think at this point the nomenclature has become so it's so impossible to figure out how the Kings of the Highway, who no one's ever heard of and would have been excited for $25,000, they'd have lost their goddamn minds.
The Kings of the Highway were a bunch of bumbling idiots.
We're gonna have $25,000.
They don't belong anywhere on the Blacklist.
No, they shouldn't be able to look at the Blacklist.
Yeah, that no one knew they existed. No, it's like so. Like I don't know. They've completely thrown. This is when the Blacklist itself, the actual Blacklist list, has jumped the shark. The actual Blacklist has
you're
been
going to
thrown
call
over
it
the shark.
You're calling it today. It's the Kings of the Highway.
The Kings of the Highway. I'm off the Blacklist. It doesn't matter anymore. Like, don't give me any numbers. Don't refer to the Blacklist. Don't like just give me titles. Give me titles of the episode. Don't give me a number. I'm sick of trying to figure out the numbers and the significance of the numbers when the Kings of the goddamn Highway are numbered 108. These guys. So that's my thing. I'm not. I got that rant off my chest.
Do you feel better?
I do feel a little better.
All right. Well, that's good.
So Lizzie and James are on the run. So Lizzie and James, Lizzie and Red are on the run. What I did realize is I've been talking, what is, every Blacklister, these first 8 episodes have been another piece in the puzzle to help exonerate Lizzie Keene.
Yeah.
Another ends to justify a thing that's going to help do the thing. And I forgot somewhere along the way in all of my stupid talking and ranting that this was an actual plan that set forth by him and Leonard and him and the attorney.
Yeah.
Like early on, like they had the whole thing on the computer, like it just might work. We have to hit all green lights.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do this, but it just may work. So I forgot about that.
No, I didn't. Yeah, and there's a long plan right now.
There's a long game happening here.
But whatever it is, it clearly has been disrupted by Cash and the gang.
But don't you feel like that? I feel like along the way they could have kept referencing that to make us remember, like there's a long game, like just one line, like Leonard, we have one more piece. We're getting closer.
I get the vibe sometimes with this show.
I just forgot about it.
I think this show does itself a favor in that I think the writing staff sometimes leaves things open-ended so they can change their minds in 3 weeks if they need to. Right. I think they kind of sit down when they're diagramming the plan. I think they go, okay, well, this set piece here, we can go left or right, and let's leave that open-ended so in 2 weeks we can decide which way this is going to go.
I mean, speaking of set pieces, speaking of things going left or right, we forgot to mention last week that our girl, the wonderful Megan Boone, is expecting. She's pregnant.
Is she?
Yeah. So there's talk about how this is going to affect season 4.
Yeah.
Are they going to incorporate her pregnancy? Are they going to incorporate
around it? Shooting around it's tough.
Are they going to shoot around? Are they going to kill her off? That's just me talking. I don't think anyone actually said that. But Megan Boone, she needs to stay home with the baby. Oh. She needs to raise the baby.
Braswell has thought it through. He's got a plan for you guys over at NBC. Here's his thought.
She has to go away to sort of like hide out
for the next 7 seasons.
Red then will spend a lot of time with whoever else, and then maybe they'll bring her back in season.
So Red and Samir should run it. They should run forward, and we can just, what? The baby shouldn't leave a baby alone to the 3rd grade. So next 8 seasons.
I think Megan, but congratulations to Megan.
You're mean-spirited.
I'm not. I'm congratulating Megan Boone for having a baby.
Stuff like that.
So let's get back. So we open this episode with Raymond
Reddington.
Lizzie and Raymond Reddington, like in the car, saying we're almost there. We're almost home, Lizzie. And he's doing a mysterious call to Dimbe, like don't forget to get the thing on the thing.
The other thing I can't tell you about that thing.
Yeah, and he goes, I got it. And she's like, what's the thing? She's like, don't worry about it, Lizzie. The thing's going to help us out. MacGuffin Central, by the way. And then they stop and get out of the car, and Rez, poof, disappears, which I thought was a little cool and scary, that Red was gone. And he'd been abducted. First of all, what do you think about this as a storyline? I thought it was a little goofy and manipulative. It's hard for me to believe that Super Spy Red Reddington is going to be abducted by a bunch of hapless...
By the Hicks.
Hapless Kings of the Highway.
Well, but, I guarantee you 2 things. Number one, the tourism, the West Virginia Board of Tourism is not happy about this scene at all.
Come to West Virginia.
Right? Y'all know we only get 6 people a year come up here. Y'all know that, and y'all put this on your show.
I mean, West Virginia is not exactly a thriving,
That's what I'm saying.
Thriving metropolises, and
they're
yeah.
And they just took a big old crap on the tourism bureau.
You okay with this whole story? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I like the idea that something can come out of left field and the best laid plans, and we're looking at the big bads, and all of a sudden, like a little bad comes up and swoops you up.
Yeah, I like that idea. There is something about there's so much to watch.
Right.
When you're on the run,
Nobody
got the
sees
big bads
Cash
everywhere.
and
You
the
got
crew
assassins, hired assassins. Remember, you had a whole fucking group of online assassins attacking you. Driving
the ninja motorcycles and Glock 9 and whatever. And then
smoking aces.
Exactly. And all of a sudden, Zeke and his crew take you out. Yes. I mean, I like that idea.
So
there's a part of me that enjoys that.
To that. I was when Lizzie handled it in the thing when the trooper came in and kind of did her thing. She didn't flip on her hoodie. She didn't. No. She wasn't wearing it, but she kind of
I'm gonna go outside now.
Yes.
The second thing I'll guarantee you, it was the hat. It was Ray dialing out his hat, and they said nobody in West Virginia wears a hat like that.
Look at that. That's a prime something.
Again, West Virginia Board of Tourism. You can wear a hat in West Virginia. It's okay.
Okay, so when it was revealed that he's taken by the Kings of the Highway, or one of the leaders of the Kings of the Highway, I was really, really out on them as characters. I just wasn't. It was this very cliche, very bad, a bad episode of Justified, a show I love. Like a bad episode of Justified, the tropes of the dumb one. What we gonna do now, Joe? I don't know. You go shut up, you stupid bitch, to the chick. You get over here and see what you can do. All of that stuff was as we just got them praising the writing, and I think it's really good.
That kind of stuff works for me, and it wouldn't have worked. My sister passed away a couple years ago. We went and saw her before. She had lung cancer. We went and saw her before she passed away. She lived in a place called Poplar Bluff, Missouri. Mm-hmm. Population 16,000 and change.
Yes.
And if you have ever been to Poplar Bluff, Missouri, it'll give you an inclining that there are parts of the country that the rest of us simply don't go to, but they are real places.
Yes.
And where people would get, I wouldn't have thought that these tropes are true, but you meet them and you're like, it's like meeting a unicorn if you live in a big city.
Shut up, Cletus!
My God, you're real. So I kind of buy these things a little more than I would have a few years ago.
Fair enough. So they were interesting. I think the chick was interesting.
Yeah.
And his response to her, oh, you like getting hurt. This is why you're here. And she's like, And the weird,
he gets me. Are you my daddy?
The weird, let's have tea time.
Yeah.
The fake tea, and then the knife and the
liked
doll's
it. I thought it was fun.
It was it kind of evokes some sort of weird, I don't know what, backwoodsy horror. What's the movie? I don't know.
The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, Hills Have Eyes. The other Rob Zombie one. I can't remember. But yeah, and so there was something to that, but it didn't quite fulfill the promise. It didn't quite get weird enough, and didn't quite get they weren't weird enough, and they weren't competent enough. So it was just kind of a.
But it's a series of tropes, right? That all slapped together. What was the movie with Christopher Walken a few years ago where he gets captured by was it Smoking Ace? No, it wasn't Smoking Ace.
No, it's a King's Ransom. No,
King's Ransom. Is that what it's called?
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't remember.
No, it wasn't that either.
No, that wasn't it. But
Shane Moore's in it.
Yeah, where
Suicide Kings.
Suicide Kings, and he runs the whole same thing. Same kind of trope.
Yeah, I got it. So that's fine. And I like the way Red handled himself the whole time, and it seemed to be good. I like. Lizzie did a pretty good job, sort of tracking him down. I did this. What did you think of Lizzie in her sort of seductive mode? I'm gonna flirt with this guy.
What did she say her name was? Kenya?
I don't know.
I kind of liked it, to be honest with you. Okay. I thought it was good. I thought it was decent.
Mm-hmm.
And she stole the guy's phone and put it back and the whole. You didn't love it.
Where's Julia when I need her?
Oh, you guys are look at you.
Yeah. So anyway, so she did that. I just didn't. I'm just enough. I don't want to be so hard at making Boone. God.
She did that. So that happened, and that was a thing.
I just didn't buy her as the whole I didn't buy any of it. But it worked, and she got him. And I did like the fight. I liked taking him back to the place and the fight, and her with the wet hair pulling the gun out. That shot, that was cool.
Yeah,
and I like the emotion. I like the emotion of her, my friend. You have my friend.
Yeah,
give me my friend back. We have to get Reddington back. I love finally, after seeing Lizzie after all this time being I don't know, Red is red right? I believe you? What are you doing now? To finally be Nothing else matters but Red Reddington.
Yeah, we're on board. There's no questions asked. There's no more nonsense.
And so that was kind of cool. I'm just playing this all the way, this thread all the way out. So then you have that bit, and then so they do. I do like Red. You know that somehow Red was going to be able to sort of psychologically manipulate this group because they're not like he's super smart and they're super dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I like the way he was able to get inside the one guy's head about like how long do you think you're going to hang around and what's going to happen, and it seemed to work because their accomplice who was with Lizzie. The leader, which his name is escaping me right now.
Chase
left him. Cash. Left him to die. Yes, Cash, played by Marcus Hester. Cash, T-Bone, and that's the dude's name.
Yeah, I can't make that up.
My man is T-Bone.
Well, somebody made it up, but there it is.
Yeah. So anyway, so there's that. I do like that standoff at the end. He ends up killing the guy. The girl ends up killing the Cash, and having the conversation with the girl. And the girl seems to be like, "I love you're sexy now." Liz and Dimbe get the mysterious case. Another Pulp Fiction reference, where it's the case where you don't see what it is.
We don't know. Is it Marcellus Wallace's bride? I don't know.
And we exactly, or his soul.
Is it his soul?
I think it was supposed to be his soul
Yeah.
in Pulp Fiction. That's what the Band-Aid on the back of his neck was supposed to be, where the devil extracted his soul, and it was in the case. This is some deep dive Pulp Fiction talk for all you guys that want to know about that. But they even had the line, like the line from Pulp Fiction, "Is that what I think it is?"
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. You're right, it is.
And they had some Pulp Fiction last week too. They had some
a little Bonnie situation last week. There's a couple. There's a couple lifts here from some pop culture stuff. I mean, there's definitely a couple of Pulp Fiction lifts. There was a major LA Confidential lift in this one. Which I thought was very cool, which I'll get to in a second. But a major LA Confidential list. For those of you fans of the Chris Hansen's LA Confidential, excellent movie. If you don't know it, go see it. There's a big reference to that in this, in my opinion. But so they presumably are about to do the handoff with the case, and Ressler and the gang come and bust it up.
Well, I think we skipped a very important thing here that we maybe ought to go back and cover. Aram, Samir.
No, I'm going to go back. I'm just playing this thread.
You're playing that thread through.
I'm going to go back and hit the other threads
because
this is my thing.
Our boy Ressler.
Yeah, no, I'm not skipping over it. All
right, let's go to it.
I just want to get through the whole. I just want to get through the whole A plot line, which is, the Red being kidnapped, Red being rescued, and calling it a day. Like this is what I want to get to.
So Red's got Chase's Cash's truck. Red's out. Red escapes. Red's on the phone with Tom and Harold, presumably at the end, while Liz gets pinched, and the kings of the highway are gone. Whatever's in the case has been taken by the FBI agent. We don't know who he is. And then we've got Dembe obviously in custody. 9 guys holding him down.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty good cliffhanger on that end. But let us go back. Let's go back to the other story. The other major storyline we have is Tom, Harold Cooper, and Charlene Cooper on the lam.
Yes.
On the run. And so we start at the house, and Tom is again Super Tom, man. He's so great.
He's committed. He's in.
Props to Ryan Eggold, man. He's really doing it. He's committed, and props to Harry Lennox too. Like, I'm glad they're giving him something to do.
I think there's one thing. This is a pet peeve of mine. I think there's something that needs to stop. Why does everybody over the age of 50 only get a revolver? Why does that happen?
No, that's another trope.
I'm so tired of this. Like, it was a revolver. That's what I learned with. And that's
Snub-nosed revolver.
All I'm ever allowed to use anyway. Like, Run All Night. Same thing. Liam Neeson. All they get is a revolver. We got much better guns now. Nope, just a revolver. Yeah. We got guns like 18, 19 bullets in a clip. Maybe you can go as many as you want, really. And your clip slaps right back in. No more look.
I like to load my bullets one by one.
That's it.
Spin that bad boy.
Oh, God.
Got some nice action on it. Revolver, snub nose.
Anyway,
like Kojak or something.
Why?
I don't know.
It's like it'd be the same as like, you know what? I only drive a '73 Impala. Yeah. That's what I drive. That's what I drive.
I would think Harold Cooper, FBI, chief, has got like some
something good. Yeah. He's moved along with the times. His wife sure as hell got a nice Mercedes.
Yeah. So they're in the house, and sure enough, we see that there's some guys coming to presumably do something. We find out later they're there to kill Ketakut. We know that it's actually Mr. Solomon and the gang coming through, but like they come in, a hit squad comes to the thing and they take him out. Tom and Cooper take him out and get on the run and get in the road and get out of there. And on this car trip, we learned a lot in the car trip. We learned that Kerakut has a tracking device embedded inside of him.
Tom's line was great. In your chest, huh?
Yeah.
Well, sucks for you.
Sucks for you. It's bad news for you, pal. That's coming out. Tom's great. Like, again, when did Tom turn into Han Solo?
No, it's good stuff, man.
Like, he's like the quippiest. He's the quippiest guy around.
Maybe he's taking somebody on the writing staff out to lunch. He's like, I got this idea. What do you think?
Yeah, like he's like this Tom. This is not the same Tom of season 2. Certainly not the same Tom of season 1, but definitely same Tom of season 2. This Tom is a rogue assassin. Like,
he's got jokes.
He's got jokes.
It's good stuff, man.
I love it. Like, so that joke, and we do find out in the reveal, we knew something was up with that neighbor, homie. Remember?
Yeah, that was pretty telegraphed, but then now we get it. She's like, I know I'm not supposed to be here, but now I wouldn't be here. And we're like, what? What does that mean? What's going on, Charlene?
And sure enough, he's like, we can go to the cabin. I was like, oh, great, the cabin. Wait, what cabin? The cabin? Like, the only person I know what the cabin is, our next door neighbor.
Why would you know about, what the hell?
Oh, Jesus.
It's so rough.
That's rough.
Damn it, Nairobi.
Oh, yeah, damn it, Nairobi. The council. That's our Matrix Reloaded, if anyone cares.
I can't imagine that they do.
No, but yeah, the whole thing, like that poor reveal for poor Harold Cooper, Charlene, he was sick.
You were dying.
You were dying. Charlene was lonely.
He was right next door.
The nice next door neighbor who looks like he's straight out of a Cialis commercial. Like, didn't that guy I did see him in a Cialis commercial? The neighbor.
Don't wait for the moment to be right for you.
He's kind of the gray hair and he's kind of sitting there like,
dude, come on, they're half a step from a couple of bathtubs overlooking the valley. I mean, you're 100% right.
It's 2 bathtubs.
That's just how you do it.
Hold your hands outside the bathtub.
That's my retirement plan. I'm gonna be 55, 60, whatever you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be on Cialis, and I'm just gonna put bathtubs overlooking. Honey, what are you doing there?
Here's the thing about the bathtub thing, like you're trying to get intimate with your wife or your partner. Your move is to time to get intimate. You first take the Cialis, and then you get in separate bathtubs
overlooking the goddamn valley.
And then
so
hold
you have
hands
to
outside the bathtubs.
You have to fill 2 bathtubs with water,
yes,
overlooking some sort of a valley somewhere.
And then Cialis is going to work,
and then you can get your work done.
But you're in your own bathtub.
And then if you get herpes, then you can take Valtrex and ride a horse, or kayak, because that's all they ever do in a herpes commercial. We've got it settled up. I got my retirement planned out.
We digress. So we find out the next door neighbor,
Cialis man,
the Cialis man is actually been she's got the keys to the farm in kind of a nice little scene between Charlene. I can't figure out Oh no, never mind. I'm getting this confused. Never mind, because Charlene Cooper is Valerie Petford, and the deputy district attorney is Adrienne Lennox. I thought she's related to Harry Lennox, but they're not. They're spelled differently. But Charlene. Now if you remember, Julie and I wrongfully predicted that Charlene was not going to make it, and they decided to not. They decided to instead of when he's longing to look at that picture of Charlene, they were telegraphing something else. Because we remember that in season 2.
Yeah.
He gives a photo like, all I care about is my Charlene. We're like, oh, she's gonna die. But now we know that she was
boffing the neighbor.
She
was doing some Cialis work.
And she may Cialis. And she don't act like you don't know. And she may or may not whatever that stuff is.
I don't know. I don't happen to have any on me right now.
Cialis? Is it Cialis? So, but maybe we do see her. I still think, I'm going to say the prediction, I still think that Charlene Cooper may not be long for this world.
Well, now we've got the audience not really loving her as much because that is a thing we do.
And she's also kind of pain in the assy on this whole expedition. Like, where are we going? What are we doing? What is all this?
Can't I just go sleep with the neighbor?
He's like, Charlene!
Oh, so you think, and if she dies, then what happens to Harold? We're into predictions all of a sudden.
I know, but I'm saying it's a long game here I'm playing here, but I have a sneaking suspicion.
And then Cooper goes full rogue because Cooper's at that point completely untethered to the world, and then he can do whatever.
I've said it once, I said 1,000 times. I would watch the Cooper and Tom Keene
Oh,
like
yeah.
on the road doing some stuff like the snub nose and the Glock.
Snub nose and Glock 9.
Yeah, snub nose and Glock.
Snub nose and Glock. That's the we got to drop the 9. There's no reason for that. Snub nose and Glock.
That's a cop show I'd watch the hell out of. Spinoff. So yeah. So anyway, so they're off to the cabin and they're doing a thing, and then they get They got the motorcycles and ninja motorcycles chasing them. They have to go underground. They get chased by Mr. Solomon. He cuts out the tracking device with a very dull but sanitized lid to something.
I was kind of like, does no one carries a knife?
Sharper object in there, down there in the gutter. So that was done. We took care of that, and they got away. And they're off to the cabin. And Mr. Solomon's right on their heels. So that was kind of cool. Again, loving Mr. Solomon.
Yeah,
like he's really doing it, man. I mean, he's really done a great job. Eddie Gatti, I can't remember to say his name right. He's doing a great job. So, again, I love that. I love everything about Tom and Cooper. You got anything to add to that?
I do not. I enjoyed it tremendously.
Okay, so I love all of that. Love all that stuff. So then, back at the post office in our third thread, we saw, the chairman, Christine Letby, kick out the director last episode. And she's sort of running things there when she's sitting there with the deputy attorney general, and they're kind of running the show there with Ressler. And we have some interesting office politics. I was saying, poor Aram, but after their little tete-a-tete, the Ressler and Navabi, they get back to work. Before they get back to work, Navabi receives a call from Reddington, who's calling in his favor.
That was Liz calling.
I'm sorry, Liz. Liz calling in the favor for Red, and Navabi gets on and gives her the information off Ressler's computer, which wasn't the smartest thing in the world.
Probably not.
Ressler figures this out. Has Aram try to figure out who did what. He figures it had to be Harold Cooper. He goes to the deputy attorney general and tells her, like, this is Harold Cooper. He betrayed us all. He's a traitor. And meanwhile, it was Navabi who slept with him. Now, this is getting into some really cool, complicated, fun stuff here. Like, I'm interested in this. I mean, I'm not just in a dumb way. Like, I'm interested in, like, Ressler being this guy struggling with, the Boy Scout versus a real guy, and
I'm starting to think he's stupid, though.
Me too, but he's breaking protocol, and he sleeps with Navabi, and then that happens, and then she breaks protocol and sneaks around, gets his thing, and Aram is like,
a poor Aram, but he was different than I thought he'd be. I thought he'd be a little more devastated, a little more stoic. I like the way they went with it, though. Yeah, he's hurt.
And Navabi's aware that Aram's into him. Obviously, Navabi is, she's very aware of it. I just didn't think that Aram, it just seems such a vengeful act, because I don't know about that. I mean, it's very interesting the way that played out. That just didn't fit right with what I think Aram is.
Every now and then, it's TV. They got to take shortcuts. Every now and then, we got how many minutes? 43 minutes, 46 minutes, whatever it is. 40. We got to tell the story, and so we got to take a shortcut. We got to have this character do 42. Something. 42 minutes. We got this character's got to do something maybe he wouldn't normally do, or we,
sure,
and that's kind of we got to. Sometimes that's a pill we got to swallow. Otherwise, we're never going to get through these. The plot's never going to go anywhere. But you know what? We learned a lot of things. We learned that when Ressler shaves, he shaves very quietly, because you can overhear the conversation in the next room.
Yeah.
And we also know that he shaves every 15 minutes, because that man has never had an ounce of facial hair.
Not one piece of hair.
It's unbelievable. Like, I'm completely strung out on all kinds of pills.
Yes,
but you shave every 15 minutes. Well, yes. I'm not crazy.
You love a clean shaven wrestler.
God,
this is your meme. This is your.
Someone let him grow something on his face.
FBI, WTF, and clean shaven wrestler. The two things are going to be in your Blacklist tombstone.
He can be 6 weeks underground, still manage to shave.
All right.
I whittled this rock down because the proper razor. But we also learned that his dad. This was interesting. We got the backstory.
So I want to get to that.
Yeah.
So we get to that. So Aram, so Navabi goes to Aram, and what's very interesting, like, I'm telling you the truth because I know you like me, and I can trust you. And Aram's like, no problem. And he even said, like, you did this for Liz. Okay, well, we're all trying to help Liz. We've all done some things. But then he said, when he finds out that it was the IP address was connected to his laptop, which was at his house early morning. You did it early morning, which means you got with him. He feels so betrayed by her,
yes,
that he rats her out,
Well,
knowing what the consequences could be to Navabi.
No, wait. Now let's take it.
Because he got his feelings hurt.
Let's extrapolate. Maybe it stops
That's
being
weird.
Well, maybe it stops being as cut and dry for him at that point, because if she's willing to, if she's boffing Ressler, maybe this thing that I had with her that I thought was a thing doesn't hold much weight for her. And so maybe all this stuff is, maybe there's, I think you start to question a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but if I don't know, if clearly, first of all, Aram has done a lot of things off the books to help Red,
right?
Off the books to help Lizzie. He's already on record saying, "I'll do anything it takes to do Lizzie. I'll even bend the rules, break the rules." Serena Navabi's helping Lizzie. They're all in this together to help Lizzie, but she's turning her in. I don't know. That was a little off-brand for me, but it's also a very great piece of sort of character writing and everything else. I thought that was cool. So then we get we get more insight as to, like, Ressler, like he wants her gone. He's got her fired, and he's calling Harold Cooper a traitor, and he's going to the deputy attorney general and saying, like, this is that. She's like, dude, like, lighten up.
Harold Cooper, you're out of your mind. Come on,
Harold
slow
Cooper
your
is
roll.
the most decent man I know. Yeah. The Navabi's like risking your neck for you every 5 seconds. What's your problem? And he goes into the story about
his dad,
and the guy. Do you remember the guy's name?
I don't remember. The most crooked cop, though, in I don't remember what the town was.
Yes, I do. I'm looking up right now, but yeah. So that story, which is very interesting, because we've been asking for like 3 seasons.
What's the skinny here?
What's the deal with
Ressler?
Ressler? Like, why is he so hard ass? He's such a red ass on every single thing, and it's driving me nuts. I don't know.
I get the vibe. I mean, these are the moments, where it's like, okay, I understand what we're structuring here, but you got to make sure you don't cross the character into stupid land, because then it just gets dumb. Like, if okay, well, I get that he's a Boy Scout for this reason, and I love that. I love that we've got a backstory for it. But at some point, you're just crossing over into dumb. And at that point, that makes you just a tool. You're no different than a wrench or a hammer, because you're not doing any thinking. You're not doing any actual, you're not doing any thinking for yourself. You're just doing what needs to get did. We haven't touched on, but we need to. Deputy director here and the chairman and chairwoman.
So we got through all that, and that was very interesting. That we get to the backstory of Aram. I'm trying to remember the guy's name.
Doesn't matter.
We'll
see him. We're going to see him again. Now that we've introduced him, he's going to come up. The bad cop's going to come up. It's going to be some more Ressler backstory later on.
Yeah. So anyway, So that's the other thing. I predicted early on that I keep calling her Jane Fonda, the Jane Fonda lookalike chick, played very well by me and Julia's favorite girl, Christine Lathy. We kept talking about that, and she is. I said early on that she was probably a bad guy. I thought that she was actually working for the Cabal. I was very certain of it. I thought that was for sure the deal. And then last week, when she was throwing out the director, I thought, oh, we're out of the woods. She's actually a good guy. And then it turns out we were wrong. Wonk, wonk.
So who was that show for? Was that show just for the deputy director and Ressler?
Well, she's keeping up appearances.
Yeah.
I mean, or well, she can't be playing both sides. She has to. No. She has to be. I mean, she has to be on the. I mean,
no way. And there's no way that the director wouldn't know. I mean, that if the deputy director was able to figure out that she was the State Department attaché at that time, or she was an assistant. I don't remember who.
Yeah.
Secretary of State to on African Affairs. If she was on that, then she was able to put it together. Then obviously the chairman knows. So the director knows. Pardon me. So who was that show for? It just had to be for Ressler that he made. What's his name? Swallow the. He made.
Solomon Swallow the
Fish Hook. That show was just for Ressler and the deputy director, who is now no longer with us.
Yes. Well, the deputy attorney general.
Deputy attorney general. Pardon me. Deputy attorney general. Thank you.
So we have the whole thing, and before that, she tells that story, and then she goes and gives him, the information on Mr. Solomon, and then she does the move like, "Did you tell anyone else?" I'm like, right when she got there, I'm like, "Oh no!" And did you tell Ressler this information? Not yet. I only told you.
Like, oh no!
Bam!
Boom!
And the way she played that, very like, "Oh, I'm sorry, dear. I hate to have to do this. Any last words?" And she says the name. Whatever, and it's that's from my LA Confidential thing, Rollo Tomasi.
Yes.
You remember this bit?
Yes.
That's the last thing Kevin Spacey says. Spoiler alert. In in LA Confidential, Rollo Tomasi, and then the chief comes back and says, "We're looking for a Rollo Tomasi," and then that's how Anyway, so I think it's the same thing. This is going to happen. Hard ass Ressler is going to know that I'm sure the chairman's going to come back. We're looking for a whoever the name is,
right?
And Ressler's going to be like, "How would she know that?" And that's going to be the thing.
Got it.
That's the Rollo Tomasi thing.
Oh, I got you. I follow. Ooh, that's good.
What's have words? The only person who would know that story is Ressler.
Right.
So she's going to be like, "We have a new lead. We're trying to shake down a name." And it's, whatever the guy's name, the criminal was.
I got you.
And that's
there it is. And that's how Ressler's going to know that it was her that whacked out.
And that's what's going to calm Ressler down from his hard ass bullshit. So that's it. I don't know. Great episode.
Great episode.
So we're set up here for this is finale. We're set up and nothing's right. Liz is captured, Dembe's captured, Red got away, a deputy director's dead. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of threads to tie up. That I'm very interested to see them tie up in these last 12 plus episodes.
I was going to say we got 12 hours to sort this through. I think everything's going to be
At
fine.
Least. So let's jump into some predictions before we get out of here.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
What do you see for the back half here?
I think that I think it's going to be really. I think obviously I think the Ressler thing is going to be. I think you're 100% right. By the way, that's an exciting idea. And I like I said, I think I'm getting tired of Ressler being kind of like Boy Scout to the point of stupidity. So I would imagine that the writers, who are much more fingers on the pulse this season than they had last season, I think they're going to pick up on everybody kind of being that way. So I think Ressler is going to become much more interesting, and I think that's going to be awesome. And I think that Lizzie captured Lizzie, whatever, it doesn't matter. And you still got the whole thing of you got Raymond on the run. What are they going to do with Dembe? That's the real question. Is
poor
what's going to happen with
can't
Dembe?
catch a break. He's always captured,
swooped up.
He went from being now he's continually captured. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited about where this is going. Actually, I'm trying to figure out what is the ultimate alliance here between how are we going to get Tom Keene, Ressler, and Tom Cooper and Red Reddington and Dembe working together, and Aram and Navabi. There's a lot of people, but how are we going to get them all working together to take down the Cabal?
Aram.
Aram's
going to be the central piece.
You think so?
I think so.
Because it's all
you pull them all together.
Yeah, this is all of I don't know. This is what I'm trying to figure out. All right, I still can't figure out this guy's name.
Sorry, move on. We got to wrap this up.
All right, well, we're wrapping it up then, Joe. That's all I got.
All right, me too. Where can we find you, Mr. Braswell?
Oh, it's over. We're leaving?
Yeah, we got to do this.
You can find me on social media, on Twitter and Instagram and Periscope at Joe K. Braswell. Where can we find you, Joe?
On the Twitters at Joe Filippo, JoeFlippo. And Julia Carey, you can find it Julia. What is it? JuliaCearley.
Yes.
And I think that's all of it, yeah?
Tommy Markin!
Damn it. You're good.
Julia will be back. We'll all be back. Maybe with a full panel next January. You guys have a happy Thanksgiving.
And a wonderful Christmas and a wonderful holiday season.
Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, everything else. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.